everyone, this is Jo Smart from Fi Angels. I'm here to do your June 2021 Lightworkers reading. I'm doing this on the 30th of May. It's the bank holiday weekend here in the UK and the sun is actually out and quite warm, so what a blessing. But I wanted to take some time out of bank holiday rest and jobs and all of that kind of stuff to come and do a reading for you for June. And the focus of the reading I'm going to do today is on stepping into our purpose. And the reason I feel guided to do a reading on that particular topic is because I was able to reopen for readings, etc. In April, and I've had lovely people come for readings, and there's been a theme. There was a theme after the first lockdown, so in between lockdowns, where people had spent too long thinking about things they weren't happy about with their life, and so there was a lot of stuff around letting go, which I think was reflected in my videos then. But the theme this time round is it seems that during our last lockdown, many people have had a nagging feeling about stepping back into their purpose, and so their childhood kind of dreams and ambitions of being in kind of a healing profession or a public service profession have been kind of knocking away at their heads, and they're looking at how they can actually get into that now at a later stage in their life. So I think there's a theme. So during the winter where we were all kind of stuck in our homes and things like that, the universe has used that opportunity to bring people back in line with their purpose and their soul contract. So that's what I'm going to do today. Before I go into the actual reading, there's a few kind of caveats that I want to put out there. So our purpose in being light workers doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be in a standard kind of helping profession. Our purpose and our careers and our jobs can be two different things, because naturally we do bring light once we step into that. So, you don't have to be the paramedic, or you don't have to be the police officer. You don't have to be the energy healer. You can be the person in the coffee shop who knows exactly who to give that extra special, genuine smile to, because you can feel that they need some genuine affection. You can be that person who works in a shop or a bank who spends that extra bit of time chatting to somebody because you know instinctively they haven't had anyone give them time for a conversation in a long time. You may be the only person they've spoken to that week. You can be the best friend, the stay-at-home parent. It doesn't matter if you're not in a healing profession or, let's say, public service profession. And you could even be what Carl Gray calls undercover light workers, working in big corporations and businesses, but you're the one that challenges decisions that don't necessarily align with the higher good. So there you are, you're being a light worker. The other thing we don't have to be as light workers is on duty 24/7, 365 days a year. And I know I've spoken a lot in my videos about the importance of taking time out and self-care and even retirement. Yeah, you can retire as a light worker, so that's fine too. So there's some things that we really need to keep in mind. And the third one I want to talk about is that you don't have to have been, if you are one of those people that has put other things, done other things first, like raise children or do a different job, then that's not wasted time. If you're looking at getting into a profession, so doing a professional light worker role, so to speak, it doesn't matter that you didn't go into it straight from school or university, or that you're training a bit later in life. You have not wasted your time. You have not failed in serving your purpose. Everything happens when it should. We've got to trust in the divine timing of these things. So again, if you're one of these people, like some of the lovely people that have come to see me since April, who have suddenly had it nagging to do now at a different stage in life, then that is just divine timing. So trust the process and go with it. So they're the things I wanted to talk about very briefly being light workers. This also fits very nicely into soul contracts, and I've had a request to do an extra video this month about soul contracts, so I'll save all of that till then, but this does fit very nicely, and it is really interesting that the requests I'm getting are really aligned with the energies that I'm feeling and other people are feeling as well, in terms of what they come to me about for readings and stuff. So I will do later on in June a video about soul contracts and what they mean. So this morning, the cards that I've been called to use, you'll recognise this one, I've used it before. It's the Angels and Ancestors Oracle Guide by Carl Gray. And the other one I haven't used before, it's Indigo Angel by Doreen and Charles Virtue. Both of these are published by Hay House. Now, indigo children, and the reason I've got this deck, and I very rarely use it for readings on other people, is because I do identify very much as an indigo child. I have got quite a lot of the traits of an indigo child, and indigo children were born in the 70s and the 80s, and born with a purpose to facilitate change and bring about change. And you know, we have obviously very positive traits, but there are some traits that make living in, you know, this century with that purpose quite challenging, because it's a difficult purpose to have. And so we can have some trait, you know, we can get frustrated when other people, you know, what we see as obvious for the higher good and other people don't. It can be frustrating. I've spent years mastering the art of professional frustration. I'm having to refine it all over again because eye rolls are really obvious on video calls, but there you go. You know, so something that we're always having to challenge ourselves and learn with. There are other groups of people who are born with particular purposes and skills and gifts. Crystal, Rainbow, Starseed, Galactic, Atlantean, Numerian, you know, so we're all born with different purposes and different traits to support that purpose, but also other traits, like I said, that can make it a challenge. But I've set the intention in these cards that regardless of what group you fall into, and if you don't fall into any of them, again, that's fine. You know, I did struggle at the beginning of this when I was kind of, you know, that really sounds like me, because in all of my jobs that I've had since leaving uni, it's been around taking labels off of people, and this feels like putting a label back on, but it's certainly something that actually helped me understand myself and you know, why I was getting frustrated about things, or why I was, you know, kind of feeling like, how come other people don't see it this way? But I've set the intention that regardless of what group you fall into, or whether you fall into the 0 groups, you're a light worker. So this is the intention set behind this card, is that we get advice for as light workers rather than just as specific groups of light workers. And I've set the intention in both of the cards that we're going to get advice and guidance around stepping into our purpose, because energetically and like evidentially with the people that have come to see me, that is the energy that is surrounding us right now. So I've given them a shuffle already this morning. I'll give them another one. So I feel like pulling 3 cards from Angels and Ancestors and 2 from Indigo. I'm going to lay these out. One, 2, 3. Okay. So the first card we got is Stag, and that's talking about trusting and thriving. So in terms of stepping into our purpose, what instinctively you feel is your purpose, trust that. The messages you're getting, the synchronicities that are happening, are the universe's way of nudging you and letting you know that you're on the right path. So if you're thinking about, you know, doing a new qualification, and suddenly you see an advert on the telly that's, you know, about that qualification, or you get, you know, an advert come up on your social media, you know, about Open University or something like that, you know, they are synchronicities. If somebody randomly starts a conversation with you about going back to education, they're all universe nudges to say you're on the right path. You know, or like say if you see a recruitment campaign for a role that you feel that you want to go into, that's a kind of healing or a helping profession, that's a nudge. So you're thinking about it, something's nudging you in your head to keep prodding you, but then also the universe will put things in place to, yes, you're thinking along the right lines, we're happy with these are the opportunities, and the universe will align those opportunities to you. And trust in yourself and that instinct and that intuition. And like saying, if you're already in a role where you bring light to people, trust that warm fuzzy feeling that you get inside that tells you you've just done the right thing. And you know, I had a reading this week for somebody that was quite challenging, and I was really working hard on shutting down my ego during that reading. And when I had finished the reading and went back into my house, I looked back out into the garden and there was just a robin hopping around, and he stood there looking at me for ages. So for me, that's nudge, you know, actually that was fine. You know, I did what I needed to do in that reading, what the universe and the angels needed me to do for that person in that reading, even though they didn't quite acknowledge it themselves at the time. It was the right messages that were get going in. So again, trust those little nudges, and when you do that, you will thrive, because you'll feel much more confident that you're on the right path. And then as your confidence grows, you know, so will the opportunities open. The second card we got is Spirit Fox, and this is talking about changing time. So if you're thinking about changing your profession, which is what a lot of the people who have come to me are talking about, starting something new, is about trusting your talents in that. Even though if you've never done it before, you're being guided there because you've got the natural gifts to be able to do that. You've got the natural personable skills, you've got the natural intuitive skills to help you thrive in that profession. And with you thriving, others will thrive because you'll be bringing your light to them. So trust in your talents. It doesn't matter if you went a different route and you're coming back. You know, the talents that you've built and you've developed over that time will help you in this change, or will help you in the development of the role that you're already in. So trust that. And have confidence in that, and enjoy that as well, and see this change, this development, this growth as a real opportunity for you. You're coming back to purpose, you're coming back to the soul contract. And I said, nothing you did before was time wasted, because you were honing those skills, developing those skills, so that now you've got to the point in your life where you've got the freedom to be able to make that change, and trust in the universe will help you with that freedom. You know, even if you've still got lots of stuff to juggle, like studying part-time while you still do a job, bringing up your kids, that kind of thing, the universe will provide you with the time and the headspace that you need, as long as you trust the process and you give those burdens back over to the universe and to your spiritual support team. You've got these divine given gifts that you have chosen, you've agreed to share. So now is your time to really put the work in to do it and trust the process. And the third card we've got in amongst all of these is to love and let ourselves be loved. And the feeling I'm getting about this card is around loving ourselves enough to step into that purpose, believing in ourselves enough to step into that purpose, understanding and accepting that we are powerful enough to step into that purpose. We have to be able to receive love from ourselves and receive the love from our angels and our spiritual support team that includes our ancestors, ascended masters, gods, goddesses, spirit guides, spirit, anyone who's working with you right now to help you step into that purpose. Let their love in. Be guided by their love, because they have nothing but love for you. And like I said, you know, we have these free will and we have to let them in, and they will only ever bring love to us on our journey, and they only want us to be happy. And whilst it may be hard work to get to that place that we want to be, and in doing those jobs, you know, we potentially bring in negativity that we have to protect ourselves from. We can get tired, we can get drained. As long as we let our spiritual support team in, we'll have nothing but love from them, and that will always lift us up and raise our vibrations. So what this card really means is, in stepping into that purpose, we've got to allow ourselves to love ourselves enough to know that we are worthy of it. We are worthy of that purpose, and we have to let our spiritual support team love us and bring that love to us, so that we're guided by nothing but love, which is the most powerful emotion that there is. So, and we can't go wrong with that, can we? So that's what our angels and ancestors have to say to us. Let's go on to the indigo angels to give advice and guidance to all light workers, regardless of whether they're in a group or not, or what group they happen to be in. So 2 cards from this deck. I said, this is normally one that I just keep for myself, so I am excited to share it with you guys, because that's what they nudged me to do today. Unless somebody comes to me and knows that they're an indigo already. Okay. Right, so the first card we got is that you are understood. And sometimes we may get a bit of chat, you know, particularly if we want to make a change, a significant change, but actually everybody from the outside looking in is like, why would you bother doing that? You've got everything you need, your life's pretty sorted, and, you know, why would you put yourself through that? You know, we might get a bit of that. If what we're going towards, you know, is kind of more spiritual in practice, like what I've done, you know, I still do face quite a lot of mainly friendly banter about what I do, but also some direct challenge about what I do, and that's fine. That's those people on their journey. So again, you know, if you're thinking of maybe doing some more spiritual work, or getting attuned to Reiki, or, you know, starting to read cards yourself for other people, if that's where you're feeling guided from other people who have a different journey, and a different set of beliefs, you may find you get some challenge and some pushback and some criticism. And like I said, and if you're thinking of making a change professionally in your life, other people might, again, looking from the outside, might think that's crazy. But what this card says is that you are understood, and what's important is you are understood by the people that matter and the realms that matter. People who will support you will feel that need in you, will understand that need in you. They're the people you listen to, not the people who are like, God, do you know how much work that's going to be? Or, God, do you know how much university fees are right now? You know, they're the people that you just want to politely say, yeah, I know, and then quietly move them aside. Stick to the people who you feel lift you up, because they understand that need in you. Communicate with your angels, your guardian angel, your spiritual support team, because they understand you. They're helping you. So surround yourself with all of that, you know, all of those people and spirits and angels that understand your calling and know that you're stepping into it, and politely spend less time listening to the people that think you're weird or quirky, because actually being a bit weird or quirky is fun. And then very similarly to what we got from angels and ancestors, we got trust. Trust yourself that you're doing the right thing. Trust your journey. Trust the universe is moving things for you to be able to achieve that. And trust in your angels, but ultimately trust in yourself. Do not second guess what your intuition tells you. That intuition is thousands of years old, so it knows a thing or two. So your ego is a new ego every life. So your ego is only as old as you are, but your intuition is thousands of years old, because it's been developing over lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. So trust it and have fun with it, and feel powerful with it, and feel confident with it, because that is ultimately what you are here for. So you cannot get it wrong. Just trust the process. I hope that's inspired you. If you've been umming and ahhing, sit in meditation, ask for the guidance, ask for the messages. You will receive. That's been shouted really loudly in my head. You will receive. All you have to do is ask and then go for it. So I'm excited about that message for you all. It feels really, I'm a little bit tingly. So that's good. That's a nice feeling. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something from that. And I'll catch up with you again in a couple of weeks when I come back and talk about soul contracts, which is really kind of synchronistic to what we've talked about today. So if you are in the UK and you're not working, have a wonderful bank holiday and safely enjoy the sun. And I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.